Good morning, everyone. Today's Thursday, February 25th, 2021. The time is 11:02 a.m. We're meeting for an HR meeting. We do have an amended agenda this morning. What am I looking at here? This is, goodness gracious, that's community development. Okay. Officially calling this meeting to order. Attending are Commissioners Duncan, Brooks, and Filios. Do we have any changes to the agenda?
Yes, we have two changes.
Go right ahead.
Yes. So we're removing number 4 for the assessor's office.
Removing number 4
Yes.
from the agenda. Thank you, Kim.
And we're also adding an agenda item for community development, a request to convert a position.
Okay.
So I move that we add a time-sensitive item of converting a building inspector plans examiner position to a plans examiner position because there is somebody who has 2 job offers, is my understanding, and they need, this is an emergency as far as we need to be able to offer them this position, and without the conversion, we would lose this candidate.
Okay, so do we have a second for the changes to the agenda?
I second the changes. Aye.
Aye.
Aye, and changes are accepted? Okay. Item number 1 then.
Actually, I would ask that we handle that first because I understand that David has a conflicting appointment right now.
Oh, that's right, you're meeting with Nisha.
Yeah.
Okay, go right ahead, David, please come forward.
Well, first, giving credit where credit's due, thank you, Commissioner Duncan, for making this happen. Thanks to the auditor staff for pulling this together in 24 hours, and for my cohorts to my left, who also made this happen in short order. I seek, as you described, this conversion, but I should be clear, I just learned I've misunderstood. The gentleman we were trying to hire has not actually been offered the position with Spokane Valley, but I think the conversion is necessary and useful nonetheless because he has great experience, he's fully certified, he can hit the ground running, and we desperately need that. So with that, do you have the
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That actually explains everything in detail. It will cost us something next year. It doesn't cost us anything this year.
But my understanding that next year's increase
Yes.
theoretically is going to be covered by the increase in fees.
That's our viewpoint too.
Okay. And he has been interviewing to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
To the best, yeah. And again, just to be clear, Christina, who I trust, has great confidence in this man. She's done the interviews. I feel if she believes he's a good fit, I believe he is.
Okay, fair enough.
So then my question to Dave and or Darren, is this sufficient to make this decision now, or does it need to be ratified on Tuesday's business meeting?
No, you can make it now. It's on the agenda, correct?
Yes, and it's indicated as action. Actually, they all are.
Well, right, but it was
They all-
added to
yeah,
the
it's
agenda,
added.
so it was not on a published agenda.
The heading,
You announced it, and
go ahead, Darren.
so, okay, so this part, you announced the emergency for the decision
Yes.
Yes,
before the meeting started,
yes.
so you added it. So it's sufficient today, but if there's any concern, you can always ratify it next week,
Okay.
which is probably a good idea.
Okay, so we can add it to the business meeting for ratification.
Sure.
Okay.
But I recommend, or I move right now that we approve the conversion of the building examiner, plans examiner position to just a plans examiner position, which is a higher grade.
I second the motion. Aye.
Aye.
Aye, and the motion is carried. Thank you, David.
Thank you most kindly.
You're very welcome. Okay, so moving back up to, thank you, Christina and John. Item number 1, request to convert position due to reorganization at the airport. Stephen.
Commissioner Stephen Kjergaard, for the record, this is to finalize the reorganization of the airport that we've been talking about for almost a full year now. It is moving from our lead positions into the duty manager positions, and then also to, since we removed the deputy director position, there is that saving. I just realized that the sheet that was actually done by the auditor's office is actually a little bit incorrect. Those actually won't cost as much because they're lead positions that we're removing and not specialist positions. And we actually have never hired the lead positions, so we already have salary recovery that we have this year anyways.
Well, and that's my question.
Okay,
I
go
thought
right
the
ahead.
reorganization was going to be budget neutral, so so that's fine. I'm fine with this. We had approved it during budget season, and I appreciate you catching the auditor's information.
Okay. Bill, any questions?
No questions.
Motion?
Okay, I move that we approve the conversion of the positions in the reorganization of the airport airport operations supervisor to 2 duty manager positions.
It moves from leads to duty manager supervisor position.
Okay, from leads to duty manager. Is that what HR?
I'm sorry. That is absolutely what was discussed in previous meetings.
Okay.
I would just make the notation that the reason that the specialists are on the projection is because we had to convert them once already
Right.
to specialists, and now we'll be converting them again. But Stephen is absolutely correct. That was the original intention. So I don't know that the projection is off. It's a snapshot of now.
Right, right.
Okay, all right. So how many changes are we talking about here? 2?
We're only moving 2, there'll be 2 people that will move from specialist positions to the duty manager.
Okay, fair enough.
But I would point out that the budget should actually reflect that there's 2 lead positions in the budget that were never hired.
Kim, you're nodding, you're okay with that?
Right, and the lead positions are going away.
They're going away, yes.
Correct. Okay.
Fair enough.
Yep. All right. I move we approve the changes.
Bill, second?
I'd like to hear the motion again because there was a lot of intervening
okay.
talking between the first motion and what we're up to
Okay,
now.
yeah, all right then.
What is the motion?
I move that we approve the conversion of positions from airport operation supervisor to the duty manager positions, which are now taking the place of the lead. The lead positions are going away.
I second the motion. Aye.
Aye.
Aye, and the motion is carried. Okay then, thank you, Stephen. Second item, request to convert appraiser 3 to appraiser 1 by the assessor. Béla, please.
Commissioners, Béla, Kovacs, Kootenai County Assessor. The request is to convert, as it's written there, appraiser 3 position to appraiser 1. We presently have 3 vacancies in our office. It's presently 2 3s and 1 2. We are simply requesting to reduce this position, a 3 to a 1, so that we have the full advantage of posting for all possibilities. In the event that the applicants, so we're posting for all vacancies now, 1, 2, and 3, if the board approves this. And in the event that we do get some qualified, experienced applicants for the higher level positions, we might be coming back to you to then change this back. But this would be of no financial impact to the county.
Sure, but if the 1 is hired, then I would expect in the
gonna have to come
budget season that you would come back with projections if these people are going to move between 1, 2, and 3 in the future.
Yes.
Okay?
Fair enough. Motion.
I move that we approve the conversion of appraiser 3 to appraiser 1.
I second the motion. Whoever's rustling papers by the microphone, please stop. Aye.
Aye.
Aye, and the motion is carried. Thank you, Béla. Okay, and then we have also another request from our assessor, and that's a request for overtime pay. Go right ahead, Béla.
Yes, Commissioner, so this is a projected amount. In fact, as we come to this meeting, we're realizing that this projection was a conservative amount. It actually might be higher than that. So in that event, we would have to come back. Our request is that the board approve the reallocation of existing funds, so this is of no adverse financial impact to the budget. It's just shifting dollars from one line to another. Due to the fact that we have 3 vacancies, there's an increased amount of workload to be spread across the employees that we have, so we're requesting overtime to get the work done.
Okay, and those 3 vacancies were budgeted to be filled?
That's correct.
Okay, fair enough.
And
Leslie?
they're being
Posted.
right. So I move that we approve the request for the overtime. However, I don't feel you need to come back before the board unless the overtime is going to exceed what has been budgeted for the open positions.
Okay.
I second the motion. Aye.
Aye.
Aye, and the motion is carried. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Okay. Oh, right, number 4 was taken off.
Number 4 was removed. We're moving on to what was number 5, which is an exception to policy 321 by our prosecutor, but I see that Barry stepped out. Here he is. You've got the floor, Barry.
Thank you, Commissioners. Barry McHugh for the record. What I'm asking for is an exception to policy 321, unpaid personal time off. The background is that we are hiring an attorney from the Public Defender's Office because of conflict of interest considerations. The attorney was asked to not complete the amount of time that she was providing in terms of notice for a purpose, and because of, again, the potential of confidential information and conflicts of interest. What I'm asking for, and Ann Taylor's already agreed to, is that she be allowed, the attorney be allowed to use unpaid personal time off for the time frame between when she was asked to basically vacate her office and the time that she'll start with my office, which will be Saturday. Her last day with the Public Defender's Office would be tomorrow. And so I know the policy says that you have to exhaust vacation and comp time before you can use unpaid time off. And we're asking for the court or for the board to approve an exception to that, given the really unusual circumstances where you have an employee who wants to do the right thing, give notice, but because of the supervisor's decision that she shouldn't stay in her position to finish out that time, is asked to leave. She's not going to get paid for the time that she's, in between that gap. But we don't want it to impact, the benefits and just the idea of being. She didn't resign effective until tomorrow. I guess Ann could have fired her, but I think she did, the right thing by allowing this circumstance to play out. And so the second exception would be the continued accrual of vacation and sick time during that gap period of what is essentially almost 2 weeks.
Okay.
Right, now we're talking in arrears, right? She's almost at the end of her 2 weeks?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so do we need to make any mention of pay periods, or you guys will take care of that?
You should be able to take care of that, no?
It would be pay period 5 that this would be occurring.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm fine with it. I'm not a big exception to policy type person. However, unique circumstances, I think, deserve unique decisions.
Yeah, plus you have a situation that's really being almost dictated by her supervisor, so.
Correct.
That I think in and of itself justifies the exception. I'm fine.
Right. Well, and it's a good policy. I mean, you and I had discussed, I think that's a good way to handle it, because we need to make sure that separation maintains between your offices.
So she actually gave 2 weeks' notice, was that correct, Barry?
She did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Yep.
So she did right by the county, so to speak, which is customary. Okay, I'm fine. Bill, are you okay?
Yes, that's fine with me.
Motion?
I move that we approve the exception to policy 321 for pay period 5 for the employee in question.
I second the motion. Aye.
Aye.
Aye, and the motion is carried. Thank you, Barry.
Commissioners.
You bet.
Appreciate it.
All right, then, one more item, and that's item number 6, Policy 600, Job Evaluation Classification, BOCC. I had brought this up at, maybe it was the previous HR meeting, and subsequently spoke with Sylvia and asked if we could revisit this. My specific concern, and I was actually looking for the specific language in the policy, which I think I brought down here with me, which is when we go out for a reclassification of any position, it goes out to it could be any department head or any EO that puts it, it's usually has to go through the EO to put forward. It then goes to the rest of the EOs for comment. In most cases, it comes back no comment. In some cases, there are. What I'm trying to do is revisit the policy and suggest that, look, if you have an individual that needs to be regraded, okay, that's fine. You go through HR, you consider the regrade. When the regrade returns, I think it should be at that point between the EO and HR as to whether it's acceptable. And I say HR because you're here to ensure that there's some level of parity. I don't hold to the idea or the concept that one EO should be commenting on another EO's employee for reclassification purposes. If there is a potential conflict, if you, HR, you find a parity issue, bring it to the BOCC and we can resolve it. So I'm looking for my notes, but I think I highlighted, bear with me.
Okay, so it's E, it's section E. Yes, it's notifies the EOs. That's just a little, because I looked for it too and I missed it, but it, section E notifies the EOs. So that's the only language that,
And also
And
G.
G.
Yes.
That's correct. It says if after 1 week there is no public comment, I presume by public comment we mean the
but
EOs.
We did post it on our bulletin board as well, but
Okay.
we've never received comment.
Okay,
Right.
status change form is generated. Okay, so I guess what I'm saying is, and I'm throwing it out for discussion, but I think we can eliminate this.
And all reclassifications do come before the Board of County Commissioners
Right.
for approval. That's our process, and we need to clean up this language anyway. That indicates the recommendations are presented, whether it's for the BOCC or another elected office or a department head, that they come to an HR meeting and the board has to approve the change in grade.
Right.
And the budget related to it, since it's a personnel matter. So those do come forward here at a public meeting.
Sure. And so I would ask if you would like to clean up the language, like you said, give us a red line version, a strike-through version, so we can look at it and then potentially approve it at the next
There you go.
meeting. So the thing that I'm fine with is the fact that if an EO has a problem, they can come to an HR meeting and
That's right.
and give, comment at any time.
That's a very good point, precisely. Bill, any thoughts? Okay, so essentially, we're providing direction. I don't know that we need a
Yes.
formal motion here.
No.
Are you okay?
Yes, HR will bring you a red line draft of the job evaluation classification policy at the next meeting, and I'll have legal review it.
Super.
Thank you.
Okay, then.
Go ahead.
Kim, go right ahead.
I would just like some direction if you still would want your departments to come forward to a meeting to ask to agree on the grade and then a subsequent meeting to adopt the grade, or can we condense that as well? We could do 2 agenda items in one meeting.
That would be fine.
Okay,
That would be fine.
Yeah.
okay, that
That
would take a
works.
lot
But
of
I still
time
want
off
them
of their plate.
separately. I still want them separately.
Agendize them separately,
Yes.
certainly, I can do that, okay.
Okay.
Okay, so basically, we're having what, 2 individual items? Go ahead. One where they come forward and make the request. Go ahead.
Yeah, currently it's split between 2 separate meetings because of that 1-week review period.
Oh, I see what we're saying. Yes,
So
yes,
if you're,
thank you.
if the red line draft addresses that, then we could accomplish it all in one meeting, and to Leslie's point, agendize them separately so that if all 3, if there wasn't a majority
But we're
saying
handling it in a
yes.
single meeting.
Yes,
Okay. I'm fine.
kind of streamlines that too.
Okay. Appreciate it. All right then, public comment. Nancy, do we have folks on? I'll ask again, any public comment? One wishing to comment is, oh, okay. Okay, hearing none. 11:22, meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Careful driving.